What's up, guys? I'm back. Last time we talked, last time I had a post, I was talking about the defense on the defensive line, um, where we should replace or replenish. So I want to get back to that and talk about Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith and the trade that just happened a few days ago. Yeah, defensive line. Chris Jones got to make that next step, brother. Gotta Gotta make that next step. We need you to be beast mode level next season, bro. We need more than 4 sacks, and we don't need you to disappear off the face of the football world. You know what I mean? Love you guy, great personality, but you got to show up week in and week out, man. That's what being a professional is all about. And defensive linemen, man, they take a few years to kind of like hit their stride. They don't really come out like gangbusters. That those first 2 years, they need to get that strength and conditioning going on before they really break out. And we start seeing superb level of play. So I think Chris Jones is going to take that next step next year. Don't know what Rakeem Nunez Roches is going to do. We saw some flashes of him this year, but he's really a role player, situational guy. Not really a guy you want to invest in long term. Alan Bailey, I call him Black Hawk, and you know why. I don't know if we're going to keep him on that $8 million year that he's about to come up on. I would keep him if I was a GM or restructure him, just try to save a couple of million in the long run. But he's really nothing more than a run stuffer. I saw Bob Sutton use him this season, the last few games as an outside rusher. He looked pretty good. But that's neither here nor there. We got to figure out what we're going to do about adding the quality depth. We've got some guys on the practice squad who I have no idea what their names are. We were just plucking guys off the street not too long ago. But Benny Logan, I don't know what we're going to do with him. I don't know if we're going to replace him with somebody in the draft, the zero technique in the draft. But he was probably our most consistent lineman outside of Chris Jones. So definitely I would try to retain him or try to get him on a long-term team-friendly deal. But he's probably going to look for that money elsewhere. But yeah, the defensive line, man, which was our Achilles heel at times this year. Not only do you need to, apply pressure with your outside linebackers, but you also need to get that pressure on the inside, caving that pocket. Making it easier for the outside rushers to get to the passer. So, outside linebacker Justin Houston, he's a dog. He had 9 or 10 sacks this year. Something, pedestrian. You got to go out there and earn that $28 million a year salary, brother. You got to do it. Bob Sutton had you, in the stands covering fans instead of rushing the passer. But yeah, man, you definitely gotta show us something this year, brother. You gotta show us why you're worth that $20 million salary. And you were probably our most consistent defensive player. Don't get me wrong. You were stellar against the run, and at times you were really good against the pass. But I noticed that he only had that stunt rip move that he uses. He had that straight arm, and then he would swim with the opposing arm. Or slap with the opposing arm. That was his bread and butter. We saw him do an array of pass rushing moves his first 2-3 years in the league. And then now with that injury, he's limited. So that might have been the reason Bob Sutton, put him out there in coverage, because he wasn't as effective as a pass rusher. But we need Dee Ford to not suck this year. We need him to be able to set that edge. We need him to be able to do the things that he did that year. He had those 10 sacks, and then he had a hamstring injury. That could be it. He could have just had that one, half a year and then done. But I do believe Dee Ford will come back from the injury. He didn't pass his physical, but should be ready by training camp. I think he is going to be a 10-plus sack guy. And if he can learn how to set the freaking edge, we need to sign him long term, because that's Justin Houston's other guy, we got 2 bookends for the next 5 years. So moving on to the linebackers. Bye, DJ. Bye. Love you, dog. You're gonna go in a Ring of Honor, the Chiefs Ring of Honor, but bro, it's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen with you moving forward, bro. If I was a GM, I would just keep him. I would restructure him and have him, play a limited amount of snaps, on a team-friendly salary. Have Kevin Pierre-Louis and Reggie Ragland, kind of cover the slack or the brunt of the linebacker snaps. But DJ, man, you're not an every down player anymore, brother. Cornerbacks, whoo! Just picked up my boy Kendall Fuller from the Washington Redskins in a phenomenal trade by Brett Veach, who is probably my favorite person in the world right now, outside of Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, hell of a move, Brett. Hell of a move, getting essentially a first round corner, who's plug and play, who's ready to play right now. I think he was PFF's #1 graded slot corner. He had about 80 snaps on the boundary as a corner as well, and he looked good. I looked at the all 22. He looked really good. But he was a top graded slot corner, which we desperately need cornerback help. I think with Eric Berry coming back, Ron Parker coming back from a down year, trying to be the glue in the science project that was Bob Sutton's defense for secondary. He'll bounce back, have an even better year. Danny Sorensen can fall back and just be that dude that backs up the other safeties. And then the rise of Leon McCoy and Steven Terrell. Those 2 guys are going to have spots on the team as well. And Eric Murray, bless his heart, he'll have another year of conditioning. He can get stronger and he can look at some more film because he did have a really bad year. He made some plays early in the season, but he wasn't anywhere near where the level of play that we needed from that position when he was in. So I think having that guy, having Terrence Mitchell coming back, playing the boundary at times and playing a slot, I think he'll benefit from having another person, having his snaps limited, and Steven Nelson coming in, which when he came back from injury, he wasn't really 100%. He had some good plays down the stretch, but he got roasted in that Jets game. I know y'all seen that Jets game where that was probably the worst game in his career. Like, come on, Steven Nelson, you gave up almost 170 some odd yards to Jermaine Kearse and Robbie Anderson, who probably posted bail by now. But yeah, man, you got to do better than that. But I think they'll come back, and I think they'll all be at their corrective positions. And the keystone, Eric Berry, is coming back, so he's going to be the linebacker, the corner, the linebacker, the corner, and the safety that we've missed, since that week one slaughter in New England. But, other than that, that's the only changes we need to make. And hopefully in the draft, we'll spend most of those picks on defense. Patrick Mahomes. All right, so don't get me wrong. I love Alex Smith. And if Alex Smith was 27, I'd say let's give him another shot. But he's 33, and he's been here almost 6 years. And it's the same story with him. We win a couple of games, we go to the playoffs, we lose. He never puts the team on his back. We've seen this firsthand against the Denver Broncos, who has a top 5 secondary. Patrick Mahomes, he left the game, then came back and led us down the field and gave us a chance to win the game. He's the guy. He's the guy. And everybody's talking about this Texas Tech thing. Oh, the air raid offense, the air raid system, it doesn't work. In the NFL, the guys that come out of there, they flail miserably. Patrick Mahomes, his pedigree, being the son of a major league pitcher, having the godfather that he had of a really good major league pitcher, and seeing what it takes on that level to be great, growing up, in that circumstance. And he was blessed to be around that. And he's got God-given talent. And unlike Alex Smith, who is very empirical and, he's, Mr. Logic, Patrick Mahomes is just going to do the damn thing. He's going to do anything and everything he can to win. He's going to make those throws. He's going to throw the ball in the tight windows. He's going to give his he's going to give his team every opportunity to win. And this is what sets him apart. This is what sets him apart from Alex Smith, who is a good quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes, because of his arm talent, because of his pedigree, because of his extremely high football IQ, Andy Reid and Brett Veach and Brad Childress and Matt Nagy, they interviewed tons of quarterbacks. Tons of quarterbacks this offseason, the 2017 offseason. And Patrick Mahomes passed the eye test, passed the brain test, passed all the tests, head and shoulders. So if they picked this guy over Deshaun Watson, who was balling while he was healthy, and Deshaun Watson didn't have a great couple of games, and everybody wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes' game in Denver. Oh, he threw an interception. He only threw for 284 yards. If you watch the game, he made a lot of franchise throws. Only a few quarterbacks in this league can make. And that let me know that Patrick Mahomes is ready to take the helm. If I was the GM, I would have traded Alex Smith in training camp. I would try to get something for him in training camp. Because if I knew this was my guy, why not throw him out there? You can win with Patrick Mahomes. It's not like we're the freaking Rams and there's no talent around, the quarterback. So yeah, I do believe we will win with Patrick Mahomes. I'm even going to go ahead and out on a limb and say we win at least 11 to 12 games with Patrick Mahomes. Simply because we have the talent around him and the learning curve will not be as steep because he has shown that he can grasp this offense. We saw it in the last game. We saw it in training camp. And we're going to see it in 2018 season. So, Patrick Mahomes, you will be a Pro Bowler. You will throw for over 400 yards and 30 touchdowns. You'll probably have around 14 to 16 interceptions, which is cool because that's the way you play. Because you have to live and die with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. You cannot Alex Smith him, all right, because he's not going to let you. Alex Smith is going to color inside the lines and use the correct color. Patrick Mahomes is going to color outside the lines. He might even create a masterpiece of his own. The guy works well while he improvises. He's the best improvisational quarterback that I have ever seen come out of college. All right. I've never, ever seen a quarterback improv like him. Go ahead and watch that Oklahoma versus Texas Tech game back in 2016 and watch the throw he makes rolling to his right. All right. He's running down the sideline. The ball is tucked. All right. He looks like he's about to go out of bounds. Then he sets up so freaking quick. I've never seen this before in my life. He sets up so freaking quick and throws a touchdown pass. And the touchdown pass didn't count. But if you see exactly what went on, he duped the hell out of the offense. He's going to be a nightmare for offenses. He's going to be defenses. He's going to be tormenting defenses for the next 10 to 15 years, every single Sunday, hopefully on Saturdays and Thursdays as well. All right. So get ready for your boy Patrick Mahomes because he will be a perennial Pro Bowler. He will take us to many, many Super Bowls. He will win a few and he will erase the stigma that is Kansas City in the playoffs. The one and done. They can't win a playoff game in freaking 25 years at home. All right. That's done. All right. Have you ever seen Alex Smith throw a fade route in the end zone? No. You know why? Because he can't. He cannot throw a back shoulder fade route. He doesn't have the arm talent, nor does he have the confidence. That's not his game. Alex Smith is a thrower of the football. Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback. He is a passer. He's a pure passer, and he can throw that rock anywhere he needs to. All right, with zip and velocity and confidence. All right, I will say it right here and right now that Patrick Mahomes has more confidence than Alex Smith will ever have. It took 13 seasons and a young and upcoming quarterback for Alex Smith to have his best season of his life. All right. He's never thrown for over 4,000 yards. Why to watch the Redskins jump on this cat this year? Because 13 years and then one season of, above mediocrity. Oh, this is Alex Smith's best season. You know what? This was Kirk's season. This was Kirk Cousins' average season. Alex Smith's numbers is Kirk Cousins' average season. And the Redskins traded for this guy. It gave him a $94 million, $71 million guarantee for 4 years. Ridiculous. All right? If I was playing Soul Calibur and I was Astaroth, I would say, disgusting! I would just disgusting that up. That's what that was. It was just straight up disgusting. When he swings his axe and then you fly with it. The Redskins swung the hell out of their axe. And I'm saying disgusting because the trade was disgusting. It was embarrassing to the franchise and the fans to give away your best defensive player to trade for above average quarterback who's going to stabilize your franchise but not going to really take you anywhere. So, Pat Mahomes is that guy that you see on the statue, with the globe on his back. Yeah, that's the Kansas City Chiefs because he's going to take them to where they need to be. Patrick Mahomes has never played with a team like this in his life. When you put a quarterback that has all the talent in the world to be one of the greatest with an extremely talented football team, that's a recipe for amazing things to happen.